The National Environmental Policy Act, also known as NEPA, is an environmental law that established the decision-making process that agencies must follow prior to the design and construction of federally funded transportation projects. Following the right process, or class of action, is important and is determined by the significance of the social, economic, and environmental impact your project is likely to have. The significance of its impact, not its size or cost, will direct you to the appropriate class of action and determine other essential elements such as documentation, public involvement, and coordination. Context, or the environmental setting, and intensity of the impact on a particular resource are two considerations when determining the significance of impact. To explain, assume your project is not the type generally associated with a significant impact, such as adding a turn lane to an existing intersection. But what if the project is within a historic district? In this context, the environmental impact of your project may be greater than you initially assumed. As another example, let's assume you're displacing a private home to widen a lane on a city street. Again, this may not appear to be significant, but what if a daycare facility is operated out of the home and it's the only one within a 20-mile radius? The potential effects on a number of local families are felt more intensely, and the significance of the impact may need to be examined in more detail. Depending on the significance of the impact, there are three classes of action that may be initiated to comply with NEPA. They include, in order of significance, categorical exclusions, environmental assessments, and environmental impact statements. The categorical exclusion determination is for projects that are expected to have no significant impact. Even so, there are requirements for documenting that expectation. On average, agencies take this route more than 90% of the time. The environmental assessment is for projects that have uncertainty about whether the proposed action will have a significant impact on the environment. The purpose of this process is to clarify any uncertainty and document your finding. If no significant impacts are found, the process is concluded. Alternatively, if significant impacts are found, an environmental impact statement is completed. The environmental impact statement is completed for projects that are expected to significantly affect the quality of our human environment. Typically, these are major transportation improvements costing millions of dollars, but not always. Significant impacts can result from minor projects in sensitive environmental or cultural areas, and highly developed urban areas as well. All federal projects are subject to the NEPA process. Each requires environmental analysis, review, and public involvement. It's the amount of analysis and review and the level of involvement that differs depending on the class of action. For example, a project being processed as a categorical exclusion may be as simple as completing a checklist, form, or memo to document the environmental impacts of the project. On the other end of the spectrum, a project in the environmental impact statement class will include the examination of alternatives and perhaps additional mitigation strategies. It will also include formalized processes to collect public comments, circulate information, and document findings. Your State Department of Transportation has considerable knowledge and expertise in all areas of NEPA compliance. The people there can help you ask the right questions early on to determine the significance of the impacts on your project and, consequently, the appropriate class of action. The Federal Highway Administration, or FHWA, can also partner with your state DOT on behalf of your agency's project by providing technical assistance and coordination with other federal agencies. The FHWA is the final authority when determining the appropriate class of action and all other aspects related to NEPA compliance. Therefore, it's essential that you engage the state DOT and, when appropriate, the FHWA early and throughout your project's entire process.